Hey everyone, today we're going to talk about something huge: natural disasters. We see them all the time in the news. We hear about their incredible power. But what actually makes something a natural disaster? Let's get into it. So, this is the big question we're tackling. Think about it. If an earthquake happens in the middle of a totally empty desert, is it a disaster? What about a virus that just fizzles out? There's actually a really clear answer, and once you see it, you'll spot the pattern in all of them. Okay, first things first. To figure out what connects all these different events, we need to get on the same page with a solid definition. Let's build that foundation right now. And there it is. It seems almost too simple, doesn't it? A natural disaster is just a natural event that causes damage to life and property. It's got two parts, and you absolutely need both. Let's break that down a little more. It's kind of like a recipe, right? You need the first ingredient, a natural event, like a hurricane or a flood. Then you need the second ingredient. It has to cause actual damage to people and their stuff. If you only have one of those, it's not a disaster. But when you put them together, that's when things get serious. All right, let's put this definition to the test with some of the most powerful examples you can imagine, these huge geological forces that come from deep within the Earth. This quote really sets the stage. It's talking about something massive happening under the ocean, a sudden, really violent shift. So what happens when you move that much rock that fast under an entire ocean? You get a tsunami. This is the chain of events right here. First, you have that disturbance deep underwater. Then that movement literally shoves a giant column of water up towards the surface. And finally, all that displaced water has to go somewhere, so it creates this incredibly powerful wave. It starts as a natural event way out at sea, but it's where that wave makes landfall that can turn it into a total disaster. Now, not all disasters come from a single sudden boom like an earthquake. Some threats are more constant. They're always there, kind of like potential energy just waiting for the right moment. Let's take a look at volcanoes. This shows us a super simple but really important distinction. An active volcano is one that's gone off in recent history. That's a huge signal that it's still an ongoing natural process and a potential source for a disaster. An inactive one, well, it's been sleeping for a very long time.
So we've seen the power of the earth and the ocean, but what about disasters we can't even see? I mean, not all threats are giant mountains of lava or towering waves. Some are completely invisible.
A disease outbreak is a perfect example of one of these unseen natural disasters. The spread of a germ is a natural event, and it can obviously cause tremendous damage to life. But if you look closely at that definition, there are two factors that are totally critical: scale and speed. First up is scale. As this chart kind of shows, a disaster isn't when a few people get sick. It's when a large number of people are affected. That's the point where the impact becomes so big that it can overwhelm a whole community. And the second ingredient is speed. The outbreak has to happen in a short span of time. You can see here how that speed is what lets the disease just race through a population. It's that one-two punch of huge scale and incredible speed that really creates the disaster. Okay, so we've looked at giant waves, erupting mountains, and invisible diseases. They seem like they're from completely different worlds, right? But now we're going to tie it all together and show you the simple, powerful idea that connects every single one of them. This table just lays it out perfectly. Look at the different disasters: tsunami, eruption, epidemic. Now look at how they start. Each one has a different source event. But look at that last column. The impact area is exactly the same for all of them: damage to life and property. See? They all have the same basic DNA. And that brings us right back to our main point. Seriously, if you remember one thing today, make it this: a natural disaster is never just the event itself. It is always the intersection of two things: a force of nature hitting human civilization. You need both. So I'll leave you with this final thought to chew on. The events themselves, the earthquakes, the eruptions, the viruses, they're all natural. We can't stop them from happening. But the impact, well, that's where we enter the equation. And that raises a really interesting question. What is our role in all of this? And what can we do to make that impact smaller? Something to think about. Thanks for tuning in.